Today, we're going to talk in depth about AMC's 5-year plan, recent share action, acquisition rumors, financial restructuring, and the market as a whole, which many investors think will affect AMC's future. Stay with me until the end, because everything we talk about today fits together like puzzle pieces. A tweet from Elmo says that something is happening right now first. People are talking again about how AMC's prices have changed over time, and how what we are seeing now might not just be normal market movement. Investors are pointing out that AMC's market cap has dropped below $500 million to around $0.59 billion. This is lower than the company's value on December 11, 2020, when the pandemic lockdown was still hurting the theater business and AMC had almost no income coming in. Take a moment to think about that. The houses were closed at that time. There was a lot of uncertainty, and it wasn't clear when things would get better. But now, even though theaters have returned, new investments have been made, operations have gotten better, and the company is trying to restructure, its value is even lower. For many investors, this discrepancy makes them wonder if price movement really does show how well a company is doing. We've already talked about how debt restructuring and refinancing gave AMC the spark it needed to get through very tough times. But what makes the company stand out now is that it seems better than it was during the pandemic shutdown. The market value, on the other hand, says the opposite. Because of this contradiction, a lot of shareholders think that the company may be being affected by price suppression or strange trading patterns. When we look at AMC's past chart trends, we get another interesting thought. Jonas shared a study that shows AMC's movement almost looks like a 5-year sequence. Long periods of going down followed by sudden, strong moves up, and then another restart cycle. AMC has had a number of huge price jumps over the years, and almost all of them happen at the same time as big market events. For example, investors see price increases when swaps expire, when there are big settlement periods with FTDs, failures to deliver, and even when things like the collapse of crypto exchange FTX stopped tokenized trading tied to certain stocks. Every time trading pressure-related processes weakened or stopped working, AMC went up in a clear way. Many investors see this as proof that price discovery returns for a short time whenever external pressure drops. Synthetic shares and frequent float turnover are another topic that comes up a lot. Community experts often say that the float has been traded many times, which makes people think that there will be a lot of volatility if there is ever a big increase in buying pressure compared to selling pressure. Even though people have different opinions on these issues, they are still very important to the long-term story of AMC for retail buyers. One interesting thing to notice is how the media acts. Over the past 5 years, many financial news outlets and commentators have regularly written negative stories about AMC, even when the stock was trading very close to its all-time low. A lot of the time, investors wonder why one small cap company gets so much attention while others with higher prices get much less. No matter what people think, the messages have often been the same, either encouraging selling or discouraging buying. At the same time, AMC has said that its earnings have gone up, worked to restructure its debt, and raise money to make its operations stronger. Critics say they are worried about debt. But when refinancing happens, the story doesn't change very often. When buyers look at how people feel about the company, they often point out this contradiction. A key idea that is often brought up comes from Jeff Bezos. He said that the stock price is not the company, and the company is not the stock when Amazon was having trouble in the beginning. In 2001, Amazon's stock price dropped from about $113 to almost $6. Many AMC investors see this as a warning sign that market prices and operating progress don't always move in sync in the short term, even though progress was still being made within the company. When supporters look at AMC's current financial situation, they point out rising revenue trends, falling costs, better working efficiency, and ongoing strategies for managing debt. According to reports from Wolf of Ape Street, AMC started selling 150 million shares. About 20.4 million shares were sold through ATMs, bringing in an initial gross of about $26.2 million. These kind of capital raises are meant to keep the company's cash flow high, lower its debt, and extend its business runway, along with plans for a new $750 million term loan. AMC also released a $1.73 billion first lien note offering. The goal is to refinance the expensive 12.75% notes that are due in 2027, lower the cost of borrowing money, and extend the terms of the debt. Basically, the business is trading short-term debts with high interest rates for longer-term loans with lower rates, a move that many experts call optimizing debt instead of trouble. Supporters say that acts like these go against the stories about bankruptcy. Instead of going bankrupt, AMC seems to be focusing on reorganizing its debts and making its balance sheet stronger. In 2020, lockdowns caused a lot of uncertainty for the company. Now, theaters are open again, box office trends are better, fundraising is busy, and the company has a stronger schedule of movies coming out until 2026. The mood in the community is also still important. Boss Blunt shared a poll that asked buyers if they had sold AMC shares. Some 436 people said they were selling some or all their shares, while 35% said they were holding on to them without selling, and 49% said they were still buying more. Even though it's not scientific evidence, it shows that some shareholders are still interested in and confident in the retail sector. At the same time, there are also reports about the market as a whole. People have thought that GameStop might try to buy PayPal, which is made more likely by the excitement surrounding Ryan Cohen's leadership changes. Even though these are just reports, they show that investors are keeping an eye on how companies related to meme stocks change their business plans. Another thing that is being talked about is HYMC. About 15.21% of 21% of the float is said to be shorted, and rising short interest has caught people's attention because AMC has an investment in the company that depends on how well it does. Some investors think that pressure on related assets has an effect on AMC mood in a roundabout way. Aside from individual stocks, worry in the economy as a whole is also being talked about. It is said that hedge funds have been cutting their exposure to global stocks at one of the fastest rates since April. This is a sign of market anxiety. Crypto instability makes things worse. Bitcoin's market value has dropped by a lot in the past few months, wiping out trillions of dollars in capitalization and making collateral requirements stricter across financial markets. There are also worries about banks, with news stories talking about losses that haven't been recognized at dozens of U.S. banks. Big banks like Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Citibank have a lot of exposure to derivatives, which adds to the larger discussions about financial system risk among market watchers. Changes in regulations are also getting more attention. According to reports, the depository trust and clearing company may have to give out some trading data because they have agreements that keep it secret. While companies like Citadel and Virtue continue to fight subpoenas in court, investors say that more openness could finally make controversial trading practices clear. Investors around the world often point to cases like South Korea's ban on naked short selling as proof that changes in regulations can have an effect on how markets work. Many people think that arguments about market structure